A few years ago, when Laura and I were back in England after Christmas, we went round to a friend of mine's house at noon. I thought for lunch. Laura on the way there said, "Are you sure we're going for lunch?" I said, "No, of course we are. It's noon. Couldn't possibly invite us at noon and not have lunch." My first worries started when I opened the door, and there was a very uncomfortable reaction when I handed over a bottle of wine. We sat down. There was no activity, no coming and going from the kitchen. There were no smells. I was thinking, this doesn't look good. 12:45, out came a piece of cake. That's when I knew there was no lunch that day. We had as much cake as was polite, and then we left. Rather tetchy, hungry. Laura triumphing over another victory in the car. I think the word is hangry. I tell you that story because that was a clash of expectations. I was expecting lunch, our hosts weren't. And Palm Sunday is a story of a clash of expectations. The crowd shouted Hosanna as Jesus rode into Jerusalem. But Hosanna doesn't mean kind of you rock, Jesus, or you're the one. It means something slightly less adulatory, more desperate. In Hebrew, the word is more demanding. It means save now. Save now, they were calling out to Jesus. And by shouting Hosanna, by shouting save now, the crowds were expressing what they were hoping Jesus would do. Their hope was that Jesus would save them, liberate them from Roman oppression. Save us now, they cried. They wanted Jesus to free them. And they were used to political figures riding into Jerusalem every Passover. The Roman ruler, the governor of Judea, would ride into Jerusalem from his residence in the west, riding on a big, fine horse full of pomp, displaying his imperial majesty. And he did that as a reminder to the Jewish population that we're in charge. You need to pay attention to Rome or there'll be trouble. They demanded loyalty and obedience. And that's what the people wanted to be freed from. They wanted to kick the Roman Empire out of their land. They'd had enough, and their hopes were fixed on Jesus, that he would be the one. Save now. That was their expectation, that Jesus would be a great liberator. But they should have realized pretty quickly that those expectations weren't going to be met when Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, no doubt looking absurd. His was a ragtag procession, no signs of imperialism, no military hardware or trappings. Palm Sunday is a day of disappointed expectations. It's a story of what happens when the God we want and the God we think we know doesn't show up in the way that we would like him to show up. And we all know that feeling. We, like the crowds in Jerusalem, sometimes cry out to God, save now. And we don't get the response that we were hoping for or looking for. We all know the pain of disappointed expectations. And Palm Sunday is a day that illustrates the dissonance and the paradox at the heart of our Christian faith. God on a donkey, dying to live, a suffering king, Good Friday. As he rode into Jerusalem, Jesus was proclaiming that his rule, that his kingdom had nothing to recommend it except love, humility, and service and sacrifice. We so often think that we know what kind of Saviour we need. The Saviour of the majestic intervention. The Saviour of a swift repair. But that Saviour is not Jesus. We have a king who rides on a donkey. And after a moment's quiet, we're about to hear again that passion narrative as we enter into this Holy Week. It marks a gear change in our celebrations of this holy season. And we're all called to play a part in that drama as a reminder that this Holy Week is a story that involves us, that we are involved in this passion.